What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to the channel, and today is gonna be a new video. This is usually I play games live. This time I'm not doing it. I'm gonna watch some replays. Yes, I've been using this Mortar deck. I played it way too much today. I should have made a YouTube video today, but I played so much Clash Royale that I was like, you know what? Let's make it a YouTube video. So I'm going to go over some of these replays that have got me to 923rd in the world. Yes, top 1,000. Does that mean I'm in the little leaderboards? Okay, before people start commenting it, because I know it's going to happen, it's very early in the season. Like, very, very early in the season. It's only been a week, so this is not super impressive, but still, it's cool to be in the leaderboards. That's pretty sick. This is the deck that I'm using. It's to the left of me. Very solid deck. I don't know who originated the deck. I say deck weird. I think I say deck weird. I don't know who started this deck. I don't know. The first person I saw play this deck was Line. He's a pro player on Talon. He plays in CRL East. If you guys don't watch CRL East, give it a shot, because the decks are awesome. The players are awesome. The game, it's awesome. I really enjoy CRL East. Every morning on Saturday and Sunday I watch it because it airs at like 5 in the morning. So a bunch of games coming up to this. This one was exciting. This one was an exciting game. So with this deck, the best thing to do, it looks like it looks very similar to a lot of graveyard decks, but instead of the mortar, it looks like the graveyard deck with the bar putt, but instead of the bar putt, it has a mortar, so it's almost like another win condition. So starting off, we both went aggressive. I went mortar, he went mortar. Cannon cart, very good trade for the mortar. He had to use not only an earthquake but also a log on the right side mortar. It got 2 shots, and then he had to use skeletons for my mortar on the left side. So right off the bat, really good start. But he does have earthquake, and earthquake does a lot of damage to your tower, and it destroys my mortar. Also, I don't want to spoil it, but graveyard, I don't want to spoil. I'm getting ahead of myself right now. This is the first time doing this. Want to make sure I do it right. Musketeer for the mortar, very good trade. He's gonna go firecracker. I think he gets a little bit of chip, very close getting chip on the tower, and he did that a lot this game. He really did that a lot this game, and it worked out very well. And that's what I was gonna say. He activates King Tower, and so he has earthquake for my mortar. He has King Tower activated for my graveyard, so it doesn't look good, but we're gonna see what I do and basically how I win this game. It's a very tight game. It's a very close game, and this is a game not like any other one I played. Usually with this deck, I like to play it very slow, and it's in double and triple elixir. That's when you get a little bit of an elixir lead, and you're going to be able to basically just go graveyard poison, graveyard poison, graveyard poison, and it always does damage. Either the poison does damage, a couple of skeletons do damage, and it's a really good win condition. So in single elixir, I really like playing defense. Also, if you notice that there's only one air attacking card, being the musketeer, so make sure, I think, oh, that was huge, because the cannon got the lock, and that's cannon insane. With if it gets a lock, nothing feels as good in this deck. A mortar lock is one thing, graveyard spawns is another, but the cannon getting a lock on tower, it feels so good. But like I said, the musketeer is the only air defense in this deck, so lava hound is a really bad matchup. It's pretty much like a 0% chance of winning. I've won one, but I think I got really lucky. I got a really good cannon connect, and then I ended up getting the 3 crown, but it was close. He almost got me with the 3 crown as well. It was wild. It was very wild. But yeah, just always going, especially now that's in double elixir, going with the graveyard. I'm going with the poison just to take out the spear goblins and whatever else he plays. He has to go with the tornado there as well. And that was a really good push. Cannon cart, very good. Cannon cart is a card that you can also play in front of your musketeer if it's going across the bridge. I don't know if I do it in this matchup. But just keeping up the pressure, making sure I played my mortar up and very far away from my tower just so he can't get earthquake value. And this is the part where he starts getting a lot of damage quick. And I don't really know exactly how he got so much damage quick. So he's going earthquake very aggressively. I gotta make sure I touch my screen. Wow, that's gonna really suck to make the YouTube video awful. So musketeer on defense, he's just chipping away at these earthquakes. It's crazy how much damage these earthquakes do. It's a little bit of chip damage with the firecracker, and just like that game it went from like 1,000 HP difference to now it's less than, like, it's 300 400 HP difference. So he's gonna get a little bit of chip with these firecrackers. He's very aggressive with these firecrackers, and I kind of like it. A little bit of chip for 3 elixir is not the worst, and it usually does a little bit of damage. So I got my push going in. Graveyard comes in. Snowball, I should have probably waited for the poison there. I went for the snowball instead. I went for the snowball. I think it was still fine because snowball is really good because not only does it take out units, but it also slows. It pushes back a unit. It slows the unit, slows their attack speed, but it also slows the attack speed of the tower. So it's a really, really good card in this deck. Originally, people use the Royal Delivery in this deck, and I wasn't a big fan of it. It didn't really help me in bait matchups. Oh, baby, this is it. This is where it gets really, really close. So I go with the Graveyard. I went with a very, very late poison, and I think that was enough to kill. And he goes with the Earthquake. He's gonna go with the Tornado. It's gonna be 46 HP. Poison takes it down on the right side. That's insane. That was such a close game. My palms were very sweaty. My knees were weak. My arms were heavy. There was vomit on my spaghetti already. It's mom's sweater. I screwed that up. Well, like, I kind of show like that I win these games already. This was a weird matchup. I don't really want to use this deck just because it's not a good. It doesn't really show. You're never gonna play this deck. You're never gonna play the Wizard Miner Goblin Barrel deck EQ. What's with all the Earthquakes? Is Ladder rigged? Is that what's going on? I start playing Mortar and now I'm playing Earthquake. Is Ladder rigged? Maybe, but this is a matchup you see all the time, Splash Yard, and this matchup's all about keeping your Musketeer alive. And with the Bar Putt, the way I usually win against Bar Putt is when he goes Bar Putt, and if he doesn't have Knight in his hand, even if he doesn't have Knight in his hand and he goes Bar Putt, going Cannon Cart opposite lane with the Graveyard can basically just take a tower, and then from there you can just defend, and usually you can get that defense, and I think I might do that in this game. I can't remember if it was this game. I played a lot of Graveyard today. I must have played over 50, 60 games and maybe 10 Graveyard games. A lot of Lava Hounds, surprisingly. Not a lot at the end, though. That was partially the reason why I was able to push so high. Freaking Lava Hounds. Yeah, just avoid Lava Hounds with this deck and you're going to be fine. So always using the Skeletons to protect the Cannon Cart. Make sure it has a little bit of health. This makes it so he has to play something. So Cannon Cart, if it dies on your side, it's not awful. Because if the Cannon Cart dies on your side of the arena, you can still use it to defend the Mortar. So if you want to play the Mortar beside the Cannon Cart, it can still be a really, really cool tool. It's almost, the Cannon Cart's really good with the Mortar. It's almost like a win condition. It's a really good tank for the Graveyard as well because it has 2 levels to it. It has a lot of HP. And that might have been not the best Musketeer. It does survive, and now I go in. So Musketeer has a little bit of health. He doesn't have a lot of Elixir right now. The Graveyard is going. Oh, it's because he went Poison. Yes, he went Poison. Right when I saw the Poison go in, I was like, hey, I gotta go in with the Graveyard. I went hard with the Graveyard. The Musketeer was still alive, and with the help of the Skeletons and the Cannon, it's going to be a okay defense. A little bit of damage on the right side, but I do have the lead. 700 damage, not a lot, but still a lead nonetheless. And this game, the one thing with this deck is if you're not a fan of long games in Clash Royale, definitely don't try out this deck. Most of the games go long. I went to triple elixir a lot with this deck. A lot of times. Yeah, it's a very, very, very slow deck. It's similar to almost Expo, where it's very, not Expo, it's more control. It's very controlling. And just keeping those Musketeers alive, I can't emphasize that enough. If you can put anything, even if you can use the Snowball to try to keep the Musketeer alive, even if it has a little bit of health, it is so valuable. And here I go with a little Poison on defense. He does a really good Tornado there, and he pulls my Cannon Cart. I don't know if this volume's too loud. He pulls my Cannon Cart away because I wanted to play my Skeletons, so then I went towards the Cannon Cart. I could use that on defense, but it was fine. I ended up using my Knight up high. It was more than enough, and now I'm going aggressive with the Mortar. So I'm going Mortar on the left side. He goes Knight to defend. I think I go with a Musketeer high here. So it's going to be able to deal with the Knight. It's going to be able to deal with the Baby Dragon. It's going to be able to hopefully help with this Ice Wizard on the right side. So Poison on defense. I'm going to try to protect my... Am I not protecting my Musketeer? What are you doing, Cash? Oh, I used my Skeletons for the Ice Wizard. It's still fine, but I really probably should have defended. I should have protected my Musketeer there. So Cannon Cart goes over the bridge. Graveyard's in. Poison on defense. I think there's a Poison on offense as well. Why can't I wish I could turn off this screen lock, and just like that, I'm getting a little bit of distance, Every Graveyard, every little bit of chip. It's little chip, little chip, little chip. This deck's all about chip. One Mortar shot, maybe one Knight shot, a couple of Skeleton shots, Poison shot. I wish the Knight got in front of the Baby Dragon. It's not going to be the end of the world. But Musketeer, it's going to take out the Baby Dragon, and now I'm going with another Graveyard. This was good Poison value because I get the Tower, I get the Ice Wizard when he walks in, but I also get the Bar Putt. So yes, it looks bad because now I'm not going to be able to defend his Graveyard when he goes in, but it still works because I go Cannon at the bridge to stop the tank, go Skeletons on defense for the Graveyard, and that is, I think, pretty much all I did. Oh, I went for the Musketeer as well, and that was more than enough. I think I went with a Snowball. Probably didn't need it. but rather be safe than sorry. On defense here, just use the Knight. The Knight is such a good card right now. It's such a good card. There's a lot of really good cards in this game, and the reason the Knight's so good is it's a cheap card. It's 3 elixir. It has a lot of really good interactions. It's a very big unit as well, lots of health, and you can just use that with that extra elixir compared to like the Valkyrie, where Valkyrie's 4 elixir. You can get that 1 elixir, get to other cards quicker. Like the Knight and the Musketeer combination is ridiculous. He goes really, really aggressive here, and I think it might penalize him. Yeah, Musketeer gets to the lock on the left side, gets 2 shots and a little bit of chip, a little bit of chip, a little bit of chip. Just making sure not a lot of damage on the right side tower, using the poison on defense. Mortar's going on offense. I go with the Knight high. I think I was predicting a baby dragon. He ends up going with the Knight instead, which is fine. I go with the Musketeer, maybe a little high, because I think the Musketeer dies. It gets a little sketchy here, but I do get the cannon cart just in time, and it's a really good just defensive card. He tries to pull it into my tower, so the baby dragon gets splashed onto the tower, but it already broken. You can't pull it when it breaks. Mortar locks on the left side. GG, well played. And that's what it's all about. It's a little chip. One thing that he wasn't able to do was he wasn't able to stack his bar putts. I think that maybe he should have started doing more bar putts, because if you start stacking bar putts, getting 2 bar putts out, that's where you pretty much just lose. It's really hard to come back from that. And then the last matchup, everybody knows, Mortar versus Hog. 2.6 Hog versus, I guess this isn't a traditional Mortar bait. I played this deck a lot when I used to play Mortar bait as my main deck, but now I'm playing a little bit of Mortar, Graveyard Control. I think Vulcan also, like, is Vulcan the first guy to go Graveyard Mortar? I don't know, but anyway, whoever did this deck is super fun. This deck is so fun. So he goes Hog Rider, or he goes Hog Rider for my Mortar. I just use the Knight. Knight's gonna be able to clean it up. He's got a lot of cheap units. He can just use skeletons for the Knight. Easy trade. I'm gonna go cannon card at the back, and this is the first time I didn't realize that you can fireball log the cannon, and it dies. It takes out the first bar of health, and it just is useless there. So that was an interesting play, because when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is going to make it a little hard, because I really like playing the cannon card at the back. It's one of those cards that there's not a lot of risk. There's not a lot of risk when you do it. It usually just gets some type of value. So I go with the Mortar up high. I go with the Knight as well to try to pick up the Musketeer. I was a little too slow. He gets a lot of fireball value. And this is where I'm going to try to keep my Musketeer alive. Watch this. So I don't have my skeleton, so I'm going to go for the Snow. I did not do it. Not there. There's another time where I try to keep the Musketeer. And we have a little battle of just protecting the Musketeer. And if you win those battles, it's the difference between winning and losing. And I'm pretty sure I lose that battle. This was interesting. So I used the Hog on defense, but because it jumped over the river, my cannon cart and didn't even shoot the Hog because it was above him, and then just shot right onto the tower. A lot of damage, gets the lead just because of that cannon cart. Cannon cart might be the MVP in this matchup. I did not play this matchup really good, but it was a very close game, and it was still wild. This is the game to get me into the top 1,000. So this was a very fun game. So easy defense, goes with the Ice Golem, goes with the Skeletons as well. So that was weird. I think he just thought the Musketeer might have got a shot, playing it safe rather than sorry, and it's fine. I don't think it's fine. So Knight's coming in. He's gonna go with the Musketeer up high. I don't know why he goes up high, so I'm gonna go with the cannon cart. Just take out the Musketeer as quickly as possible, and then he's probably just gonna go Ice Golem for the cannon. Yep. And this is just it's just all about slowly chipping away. I haven't even used the Graveyard. Usually I don't use a Graveyard in single elixir unless I know either their counter is out of their hands, so either like poison or barbs or just something really good. If I have a really good elixir lead, or if I have a lot of units going over the bridge. I guess that kind of goes in hand with the elixir lead. So I go with the high Mortar here. This was a little bit of a mistake. I probably should have went with the low Mortar, because I think the Hog does get a hit. Yeah, the Knight gets distracted by the skeletons, does get a hit on tower, and now his Musketeer is still alive. So he's doing a really good job of keeping this Musketeer alive. So I'm going to go with Snowball. I'm going to go for try to get the Musketeer out of there. And I don't remember, did the Hog get the hit? So this was a really awkward spot. This is where I started kind of losing. So I go with the Graveyard. I go with a naked Graveyard too, and a poison. I should have waited for the poison to wait for the Musketeer. I tried to predict it. I thought he was going to play it a little to the right, and so the Musketeer is still alive. That's really bad, but still, the Graveyard poison itself got a lot of damage. And just like that, a game that looked like it was totally out of reach is now a little closer. So big push. He goes Hog at the back for some reason. I think this is going to be a fine defense, because I go with the Snowball, and Snowball is really good at defense. Partly the reason why I like it over the Royal Delivery. Does still get the hit, and this looks awful. I'm down by 1,100 damage, and this is where I turn on the Jets. We're getting close to triple elixir, and I just go all in. I go with Graveyard. I go with poison. My poisons are awful this game. I keep missing the Musketeer, but just like that, 820 left on the tower. It's close. It's very, very close. But the Hog deck, it's a very, very quick cycling deck. So I'm thinking to myself right now, I just need a little bit more damage. Maybe one more Graveyard, and that could be it. One more good Graveyard. So it goes with a very weird Musketeer placement. So now I go with this Snowball. Probably should have went with the Poison instead. I think I go with the Poison anyways. I probably should have went with the Poison anyways. But still, Snowball, really good. It slows the units, it slows the attack speed of the units, the tower and everything, and just like that, he tries to go with the quick spell cycle to outbeat my Poison, but I get him. GG, well played. Yeah, this deck is good, man. This deck is, it's 9,000. Now I'm 931 in the world. I was 923 at one point. At the beginning of the video, I was 923. Yeah, it's still early in the season, but yeah, definitely give this deck a try. If you love Mortar, if you love playing Mortar decks, this deck is insane. It's not the most free to play, having a legendary, 2 epics, and I guess the rest commons and rares. But if you can play this deck, give it a try. Remember to be patient with this deck, protect your Musketeer, and then also just don't use the Graveyard in single elixir, or in single unless you have a really good elixir lead, because a lot of times I went Graveyard, easy defense by him, counter push, and I lost the game. It happens. It happens. It's all about little chip with this deck. Little bits of chip. Little bits of chip. Yeah, give it a try. Let me know in the comments how you guys like it, and I'll see you guys in another video. Adios, muchachos. Why did I just say that? And remember to always look both ways before you cross the street. Deuces.